Yeah, YouTube, what up? Welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Watts. I'm Watts, and today we're talking about everything that we need to know about this deadly faction, this dangerous connection, this dangerous collaboration from Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to get cracking. We're going to go crazy. WrestleMania weekend has concluded. WrestleMania night 1, night 2. Night 2 fell on 420, so you already know that a lot of guys was getting blunted. I'm not going to incriminate myself for real, but everybody was happy, hunky-dory. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some things that I was critical of about this WrestleMania. A couple of those matches was very much slow-paced, but maybe it's for a reason. Somebody was actually talking to me about it yesterday, and they was like, yo, sometimes you gotta have bad WrestleManias to have legendary WrestleManias. Maybe WrestleMania 42 is gonna be legendary. Maybe we get that Rock versus Roman Reigns match finally, because the time is ticking. The Rock ain't getting any younger for real. If we gonna do this, we gotta do this within the next 2 years, if you ask me. And that's why I wanted to talk about this faction that Seth Rollins and Braun Breakers and real spill. I don't even think that they need a third man. They're gonna add Becky Lynch to the faction, right or wrong. So if you ask me, and let's put John Cena to the side. Let's say he's not a part of the faction, but I do think that this is all The Rock's doing. Just a bunch of main eventers and people that he wants to be his champion. So let's look at it like this. Let's just put John Cena to the side for a second. You got a faction with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, they've been working with each other for the longest time behind the scenes, getting Braun Breaker prepped for all of this. So let's think of this. All right, they don't necessarily need a third man, because if they're gonna be on Raw, more than likely Seth is gonna be chasing the World Heavyweight title, and I know for a fact within the next 6 months, Seth is taking that title off of Jey Uso. Like, it's super obvious now what they're doing. I see what's going on. I know ball, and I know we see what's gonna happen. So Seth chasing the World Heavyweight Championship. Then you got Braun Breaker, who is probably gonna chase the Intercontinental title again. And then for that third person in that slot, more than likely, that's going to be Becky Lynch. I can tell you right now, since Rhea and Bianca is not going to be in the world title picture, it looks like Bianca's probably going to focus on the Naomi stuff with Jade Cargill. She's going to be back on SmackDown. Then you have Io Sky, who is facing Io Sky for that title, for real. It can only be but two other people, either Bayley or the man, Becky Lynch, which leads me to believe that Becky Lynch is going to join that faction, and she's going to take that title off of Io Sky, especially since they love Io Sky so much. Either one thing is going to happen, or two things is going to happen, or one or the other is going to happen. And it's going to be Becky Lynch taking the Intercontinental title off of Lyra Valkyria, or she's taking the world title off of Io Sky. One of those things is going to happen. I don't know which one is going to happen, but mark my words. But let's bring John Cena back into the fold. Let's say John Cena is a part of this faction with Paul Heyman and stuff. Then what? We got John Cena, WWE champion, Seth Rollins, who is probably going to become World Heavyweight champion. You got Braun Breaker, who's going to be chasing the Intercontinental title. Then you got Becky Lynch, who's probably going to chase the Intercontinental title or the Women's World title. You got 4 people there. I don't think that they're going to need a tag team, because the New Day are heels already, and the tag team division is already pretty weak. So I don't see another heel tag team taking the titles off of a heel tag team. I mean, it's a possibility, but if I had to guess, that's probably not what they're going to do, because you already know they don't be caring about the tag team division for real. Let's be honest. We already know that. So what's probably going to happen from what I seen on Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and probably Cody Rhodes are probably going to have to do this uneasy alliance thing, and it's going to probably culminate at War Games or one of the last pay-per-views that John Cena is going to, well, I said pay-per-views. See, I'm showing my age. PLE. One of these PLEs, that's John Cena's last PLE, he's probably going to be in the fray with Roman Reigns and all of these guys. Since he's saying he's going to ruin wrestling, it kind of just goes to show you that Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk are going to have to save wrestling. If we're being for real here, I don't know. I could just be spitballing, but that's what it looks like is going to happen. That's what the remainder of this year, this calendar year, is looking like it's going to be. I don't know. I could just be bugging. I could just be a madman, but I'm not always wrong. Because I was right about Becky Lynch turning on Lyra. I was watching and I was like, yo, if they lose this match, you already know Becky Lynch is going to turn on her. Easy. Like, it ain't going to be that hard to understand what's going to happen. But if you ask me, Liv and Raquel didn't even have to lose those titles. They should have won at WrestleMania, to be honest. Lyra Easterpin, and we get another OMG moment for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is what dreams are made of, right? That's what I would have done. But I don't know. Not everybody has the mind for wrestling the way I do. Maybe I think I know a lot more than I really do. Who knows? But these are just my thoughts. And like I said, I'm only here posting what I think and what I feel. And I'm going to keep it a bean with you. Just like I said before, I don't care if I have 2 subs, 200 subs, 2 million subs, 2,000 subs, it don't matter. I'm going to be here voicing my opinion about wrestling just because I could. And because somebody's going to hear it. Somebody's going to listen to it. It may not be you. It may be you. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this faction in the comments for real. Because I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the bright spots of wrestling right now. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be putting in this work. 3 videos a week. Probably more. Who knows? But I got a busy schedule outside of here too, for real. I be doing work. I be doing things, man. I work. I work out. You know, sometimes I train people. Hey, listen, man. The list goes on. But yo, I appreciate you guys for tapping in. If you tapped in, I am out. Peace.